Hello and good day. Welcome to our video channel, God's Promises. And today's video will be Matthew chapter 20. Let's get started now. Matthew chapter 20 is a continuation of Jesus' teachings to his disciples as he journeys to Jerusalem. In this chapter, Jesus tells a parable of the workers in the vineyard, predicts his own death and resurrection, and responds to a request from the mother of James and John. The parable of the workers in the vineyard is a story of a landowner who hires workers at various times throughout the day to work in his vineyard. At the end of the day, he pays all the workers the same amount, regardless of how long they worked. The workers who were hired first complain about this, but the landowner explains that he is being fair because he is paying them what he promised. This parable teaches us about God's grace and fairness, and that everyone who accepts God's offer of salvation will receive the same reward. In the next section of the chapter, Jesus predicts his own death and resurrection for the third time, and this time he goes into more detail about what will happen. He says that he will be handed over to the Gentiles, mocked, flogged, and crucified, but that he will rise again on the third day. This prediction is significant because it shows that Jesus knew what was going to happen to him, and that it was all part of God's plan. After this, the mother of James and John approaches Jesus and asks if her sons can sit at his right and left hand in his kingdom. Jesus responds by saying that those positions are not his to give, and that they will have to earn them by serving others. This teaches us about the importance of humility and service, and that the way to greatness in God's kingdom is through serving others. Finally, in this chapter, Jesus heals two blind men who were sitting by the roadside. When they call out to him, the crowds try to silence them, but Jesus stops and asks them what they want him to do for them. They ask for their sight to be restored, and Jesus heals them. This healing is an example of Jesus' compassion and willingness to help those in need. The teachings in Matthew chapter 20 have many applications for us today. The parable of the workers in the vineyard reminds us that God's grace is available to all who accept it, regardless of how long they have been Christians or how much they have done for God. We should be grateful for God's mercy and not compare ourselves to others. Jesus' prediction of his own death and resurrection reminds us that his sacrifice was necessary for our salvation, and that we should live in a way that honors his sacrifice. We should also trust that God has a plan for our lives, even if we don't understand it. The request from James and John's mother reminds us that true greatness is achieved through service and humility. We should seek to serve others and not seek personal glory or power. Finally, the healing of the blind men teaches us about Jesus' compassion and willingness to help those in need. We should be willing to help others who are less fortunate than us and show them the love of Christ. In conclusion, Matthew chapter 20 contains important teachings about God's grace, Jesus' sacrifice, service and humility, and compassion for others. These teachings are still relevant for us today and can help us live a life that honors God and serves others. Thank you for visiting us today. Please share with us your favorite Bible verse below in the comments section. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really does help our channel grow. Looking forward to see you back here for our next video. Always take good care.